Chosen one. Stop for a moment and listen closely. The atmosphere around you has shifted. Heaven has pressed pause on the noise of the world, so this message can reach you. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are marked. The seal of the angels rests upon you, and that seal cannot be counterfeited, cannot be erased, cannot be stolen. From your earliest days, you sensed it. While others blended easily, you carried a weight you could not name. Nights when sleep avoided you, days when rejection pressed heavy on your chest. Those were not signs of abandonment. They were whispers of destiny, like a soldier in training who cannot yet see the battlefield. You were being prepared in silence. Picture this: a seed buried deep in the ground. To anyone watching, it appears lifeless, covered by darkness. Yet beneath the soil, roots are stretching. Unseen strength is forming, and one day, the soil splits, and the seed rises toward the light. That seed is you. Every hidden season, every tear, every unanswered prayer was your soil. But now, the angels have stepped forward to announce your rising. There was once a chosen one who endured years of waiting. They prayed, fasted, and walked through valleys of silence. Friends mocked them. Doors stayed shut, and heaven seemed quiet. Yet when the moment arrived, when the seal of God was unveiled over their life, everything shifted in a single day. That same pattern flows through your story. You have walked the valley, but now the horizon of destiny glows ahead. The Word of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 8, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you, nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged." The valley was never meant to bury you. It was meant to prove that God's presence never leaves your side. His seal on your life is not fragile wax that melts under pressure. It is an eternal imprint of heaven's authority. Chosen one. You must understand this. The enemy has studied you. He tried to suffocate you with delay, to drown you in despair, to convince you that you were forgotten. But every scheme failed. Why? Because the seal marked you as untouchable. You are like a city set on a hill, a lighthouse battered by waves, yet unshaken, still shining its beam across the dark sea. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. You are here because heaven has activated your final assignment. And the seal on you is not only protection, it is authorization. A king's seal proves authority. An angel's seal proves destiny. Now the question stands before you. Will you rise? Will you step into the role for which you were formed? Will you embrace the mantle of light that already rests upon your shoulders? Take this moment, not just to listen, but to step forward. Share this message, so another chosen one may awaken. Let your voice join heaven's echo by liking, by subscribing, by leaving a comment below. Type the number 144, a number of divine sealing and heavenly completion, as a prophetic sign that your hidden season is over and your final assignment is activated. This is the beginning. Heaven is watching. The angels are already in motion, and your journey as a sealed one, chosen and unstoppable, begins now. The final assignment is stirring within you. It is like a river beneath the surface of the earth, pressing against the rocks, waiting for the moment when it will burst forth in power. You may feel restless in this season, unable to settle, as though something inside of you keeps whispering, There is more. That whisper is not your imagination. It is the voice of heaven. Every angelic seal is not only a mark of protection, but also a summons to purpose. The seal declares that your life is not random, that every breath you take is aligned with a heavenly design. And when the seal is placed, the assignment begins to move. It does not shout at first. It stirs gently, like the first winds before a storm, like the tremor of the earth before the quake. Think of a lion in a cage, pacing back and forth. For years it has been confined, but instinct keeps building. Muscles strengthen even in confinement. Hunger sharpens, and when the gate finally swings open, the roar that escapes shakes the ground. This is the image of what is happening in your spirit. You have been pacing, praying, questioning, waiting, but the cage was temporary. The stirring you feel is the signal that heaven's gate is opening. There was a chosen one long ago who knew this feeling. They worked in obscurity. Their hands rough from labor, no one celebrated. Each day seemed repetitive. Yet inwardly they felt something rising. A promise whispered in their heart would not let them go. When the day of their revealing came, all the quiet years made sense in a single moment. Their story mirrors yours. The waiting has never been wasted. It has been weaving strength into your core. The Apostle reminds us in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 9, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him." You thought you were wandering, but heaven was weaving. You thought your detours were delays, but the Lord was designing. That is why the stirring feels so strong right now. It is heaven's signal that what no eye has seen is about to unfold through your life. The final assignment carries weight. It is not something you can rush into by willpower alone. It requires the right moment, the right alignment, the right seal. That seal is already upon you. That alignment is already unfolding. Look at the signs around you. Conversations that seem ordinary carry unusual weight. Dreams are sharper, almost luminous. Encounters feel like divine appointments rather than coincidences. This is how heaven signals activation. The angels are not silent. They are orchestrating details that the natural eye cannot see. You are stepping into a season where the invisible will become visible, where what was stirring will become undeniable. The fire that was buried will rise to the surface, and when it does, you will understand why every tear, every battle, every silence was necessary. The final assignment is not a burden, it is a crown, and the stirring you feel is the sound of heaven placing it upon your head. What once felt like restlessness is about to become direction. What once felt like delay is about to become acceleration. Every hidden prayer has been fuel. Every unseen sacrifice, a seed. The shaking you sense within is not the end. It is the birth pangs of the new chapter God has written for you. The weight of your trials has not been wasted. Every wound, every rejection, every night of unanswered questions has become the training ground of your spirit. You may not have realized it at the time, but heaven was chiseling you, refining you, preparing you to carry the mantle that others could not bear. Some people collapse under the weight of adversity, but you carried it, even when your knees trembled, even when no one applauded, even when voices around you said you would not last, you kept walking. And because of that endurance, heaven now entrusts you with greater authority. Think of a diamond deep in the earth. At first it looks like an ordinary stone, worthless and unimpressive. But under crushing pressure, its hidden brilliance is revealed. That is what your trials have done for you. They have pressed you, yes, but they have also unveiled the strength within you that the world could not see. There was a chosen one who once prayed for release from hardship, who begged for the struggle to end. Yet instead of removing the storm, God gave them a new vision. The storm was not the enemy, but the forge. In time they came to see that what once felt like punishment was actually preparation. The same truth echoes in your life. The fire was never to destroy you, but to refine you. The Word of God declares in the book of James, chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Enda, you have been tested, but that test was your proof. Without resistance, muscles never grow. Without struggle, wings never strengthen. Your faith has been stretched, and now it is unbreakable. This is why the enemy fears you, because you are not fragile clay, you are tempered steel. Look back for a moment. Remember the betrayals, the losses, the nights when the silence was deafening. Those were chapters the enemy wrote in hopes you would give up. But what he forgot was that every valley leads to higher ground. Every tear watered the soil of your future harvest. Every rejection carved out a deeper capacity in you to carry glory. Now you stand on the edge of unveiling. What once was hidden pain will now become visible power. The scars you carry are not marks of shame. They are credentials in the kingdom. Angels see them and know, this one has endured. This one has passed the test. This one is ready. Chosen one. Do not underestimate what you have carried. Do not minimize what you survived. The very things you thought disqualified you are the proof that you are chosen. Write these words now in the comments. Refined by fire. Let it be your declaration, your testimony carved in flame. Because when you speak it, you are not just acknowledging the trial, you are proclaiming the transformation. Fire did not consume you, it purified you. Trials did not crush you, they crowned you. And as you declare it, let heaven's whisper fill you. The next chapter is not about survival, it is about release. You will not just endure, you will overcome with power. This is why you still stand. The ashes you walked through are now the soil where your testimony grows. The cracks in your armor shine with light, not weakness. And what you carry forward will speak louder than every wound that tried to silence you. Light against the shadows. This has been your reality long before you could name it. From the moment the seal of heaven was set upon you, your presence carried something disruptive to the kingdom of darkness. You may have wondered why certain people pulled away, why resistance rose against you without reason, why battles seemed to find you even when you were not looking for them. It was never coincidence. It was the evidence of the light within you. Darkness does not wage war against what is ordinary. It wars against what threatens it. And you, chosen one, have always been a threat. The atmosphere shifts when you enter a room. You have carried light, even when you could not see it in yourself. That light unsettles the schemes of the enemy. Picture a candle in a cave. Even the faintest flame pierces the overwhelming black. Shadows cannot negotiate with light. They must retreat. This is what happens when you walk into places heavy with despair, addiction, or fear. The seal upon you releases a presence the darkness cannot withstand. There was a chosen one who spent years surrounded by opposition. Every time they tried to blend in, conflict arose. People accused, misunderstood, and rejected them. Yet the truth was simpler. The darkness within others recognized the light upon them, and though they felt weary of the fight, they later realized the conflict was confirmation. They were a carrier of something heaven would not allow to remain hidden. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 12, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And if he is the light, and you follow him, then his light burns through you. That is why darkness stirs against you, but it also means the light inside you is unstoppable. No shadow can erase it." Think about the times you felt drained, like your flame was barely flickering. Even then, others drew strength from your presence. Even then, the enemy still tried to silence you. Why? Because the smallest ember of God's light in you carries more power than legions of darkness. The shadows you face are not proof of weakness. They are proof of calling. Just as a soldier is tested by battles, so your destiny is proven by the resistance you encounter. Without darkness, your light would never be fully revealed. Do not forget, angels surround you as you carry this light. The seal upon you is not fragile. It is the mark that ensures your light cannot be snuffed out. Storms may come, winds may howl, but the flame that heaven has lit within you is eternal. Imagine a lighthouse on a storm-battered coast. Waves crash against it. Winds scream at its walls, but the beam continues to sweep across the sea. Ships lost in the night find their way because of that light. This is your calling. You are the lighthouse in the storm. Chosen one. Understand this. The world needs your light. The shadows around you are not random. They are assignments. Where despair reigns, you bring hope. Where lies choke hearts, you bring truth. Where fear rules, you bring courage. That is why the shadows resist you. They know their time is short when you arrive. And so, you must not shrink back. The light in you is not given for yourself alone. It is for those stumbling in darkness, searching for a way home. Your scars make the light more visible. Your endurance makes it stronger, and your obedience keeps it burning. When you walk forward in this truth, the shadows lose their power. The light of life within you spreads. Unstoppable, unshakable, undeniable. And though the enemy may rage, he cannot extinguish what heaven has sealed. Heaven's scrolls are being unsealed, and within them lies the blueprint of your mission. For a long time, the details were hidden. You sensed there was something more. Yet every attempt to see it clearly seemed like looking through fogged glass. Now the fog is lifting. The seal has been broken, and what was once concealed is being revealed. When heaven writes, it does not scribble with hesitation. Every line is intentional. Every mark carries eternity's weight. The scroll with your name has been preserved through centuries, guarded by angels until the appointed moment. That moment is now. Think of an architect who designs a building long before it is constructed. The drawing may sit in storage for years, unnoticed. But once the foundation is ready, the plans are brought out, unfolded, and studied carefully. Workers align their actions with the original design. This is exactly what heaven is doing with you. The scroll of your life is being unfolded, and the design is finally visible. There was a chosen one who once felt aimless, like their life had no direction. They wandered, waiting for a sign, wondering if their steps mattered. One night, a vision came, a glimpse of heaven's blueprint. Though they still did not know every detail, they suddenly understood their story was never random. That moment changed everything. They walked forward with new confidence, not because the path was easy, but because they knew it was written. The same assurance is being handed to you now, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." Your waiting has not been wasted. It has been alignment. The blueprint was not ready to be revealed until the foundation in you was prepared. And now, as the scroll unseals, the assignment awakens. This is why certain pieces of your past finally make sense. The rejection you faced was not abandonment, it was redirection. The silence you endured was not punishment, it was preservation. The trials you carried were not accidents, they were training. Every page of your story is woven into the scroll. Chosen one, feel the weight of this moment. You are standing before heaven's blueprint, and the angels lean close as you begin to see what was hidden. The call on your life is not vague, it is specific. It is sharp. It is alive. And here, in this moment, you are given a choice. Will you hold the scroll close? Study it. Embrace it as your life's treasure, or will you fold it back up and leave it untouched? The decision is yours. If this word ignites something within you, let it move beyond hearing, like this message, as a sign that your heart agrees. Share it as one who carries light to another's soul. Subscribe as one sealing a covenant with the assignment written over your life. Your act of response becomes part of the unfolding scroll. Just as a seal breaks open to release what is hidden, so your willingness breaks open. The next chapter, it is not obligation, it is beauty. Not pressure, but privilege. The scrolls of heaven are open. Your name is inscribed. And angels watch as you begin to walk in what was always written for you. The crown of endurance rests upon your head, and the seal of the angels guarantees that storms cannot strip it away. You have walked through fire, and yet the flame has not consumed you. You have been pressed on every side, but not crushed. Your survival is not by accident. It is the testimony that heaven's hand has preserved you. Endurance is not glamorous. It rarely looks like victory while it is happening. It looks like getting up when your body screams to stay down. It looks like praying when answers are silent. It looks like walking forward when the path seems endless. Yet heaven sees endurance differently. Heaven crowns those who keep standing. Think of a runner on the last stretch of a marathon. Muscles sèchent, lungs burn. Vision blurs, but then the finish line appears. The roar of the crowd grows louder, and strength they did not know they had begins to rise. This is what endurance does. It carries you to the point where divine strength replaces human exhaustion. There was a chosen one who once felt they had nothing left to give. They whispered, "I cannot continue." But in that very moment, heaven whispered back, "Yes, you can." Step by step, though weary, they moved forward. And what they discovered was that endurance itself became a crown. They learned that survival was not small, it was royal. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy. Chapter 4. Verse 7. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Lan. These words are not only for the Apostle Paul, they are for every chosen one who refuses to quit. They are for you. Your fight, your race, your faithfulness, it is all seen. And heaven has already prepared a crown for those who endure. Do not think lightly of what you have carried. Others would have broken under the weight of half your trials. Yet here, you are still breathing, still standing, still holding on to hope. That is endurance. That is the reason the crown is yours. Even angels marvel at your resilience. For though you stumbled, you did not remain down. Though storms raged, your spirit clung to God. And in the unseen realm, each act of endurance has been recorded. Not one tear was wasted. Not one step of perseverance has gone unnoticed. Imagine your endurance as a crown forged in fire. Every blow of hardship added another jewel. Every tear polished its surface. Every prayer in silence made it shine brighter. The weight you carried has been transformed into glory upon your head. Chosen one. You may not see it in the mirror, but in the spirit realm, the crown of endurance is already glowing. And as you walk forward, the light from that crown terrifies the darkness. It is proof that you are marked not by defeat, but by victory. Now pause and let this truth sink deep. The seal ensures that your crown cannot be stolen. The storms may have tested you, but they have also revealed you. You are not fragile, you are crowned. And as a prophetic act, let your heart align with heaven's record. Type the number 555 in the comments below. This is the number of grace multiplied. Grace that sustained you. Grace that crowned you. Grace that will carry you further. By writing it, you are declaring, I endured, and by His grace I rise crowned. And your endurance has not ended. It is becoming your authority. Your crown is not decoration, it is recognition. And as you step forward with it, doors will open, assignments will unfold, and angels will march beside you. Whispers of divine strategy are being released over your life. Heaven does not leave its chosen ones without instruction. The seal that marks you also unlocks guidance, sometimes gentle like a breeze, other times sharp like a trumpet. The strategy may not arrive in a single thunderclap of revelation, but it comes in pieces, like puzzle fragments, fitting together as you walk forward. Think of a commander preparing their army. The soldiers may not understand the full plan, but each receives their orders for the day, step by step, move by move. The greater design unfolds. That is how heaven works with you. God is not withholding the plan. He is releasing it in timing that ensures your obedience builds trust. There was once a chosen one who cried for clarity, begging for the entire blueprint. But the Spirit only gave them one instruction: wait. To them, waiting felt like defeat. Yet in time, they discovered that the delay itself was strategy. While they waited, enemies revealed themselves. Traps became visible, and the ground ahead was cleared. What looked like stagnation was actually positioning. That same whisper guides you now. What feels like pause is often protection. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And divine strategy does not always call for endless striving. Sometimes it commands stillness. because heaven itself is moving on your behalf. Other times, it pushes you into motion, urging you to speak, to step, to break through. Both silence and action can be strategy when they come from the mouth of God. Chosen one. Do not confuse human cleverness with divine strategy. Human plans lean on calculation, but heaven's whispers carry foresight you cannot see. A door you hesitate to open may be the very threshold angels have been guarding for your entrance. A conversation you feel drawn to may unlock healing in a life you did not expect to touch. Divine strategy always carries weight beyond the immediate. Imagine a sculptor with a block of marble. Each strike of the chisel seems small, almost random, but the sculptor sees the form hidden within. In the same way, each instruction heaven whispers to you may seem minor, but together they carve destiny out of stone. The strategy is not random, it is precise. The enemy fears strategy more than raw power. Power can be wasted without direction, but strategy cuts with precision. That is why you have often felt opposition right before receiving clarity. Darkness hopes to drown out the whisper with noise, yet the seal upon you ensures the whisper reaches your spirit. Learn to value the whisper. Write it down. Guard it. Obey it, even when it does not make sense in the natural, for obedience is the language that unlocks more. The more faithful you are with one instruction, the more heaven entrusts to you. The whispers may lead you to unexpected places. They may guide you through wilderness paths that seem longer, yet in those places, hidden wells are waiting. Unseen provisions already planted. You are not walking blind, you are walking guided. Chosen one. Heaven has not called you to guesswork. You are not stumbling through life hoping something works out. The seal upon you guarantees strategy, and that strategy always leads to victory. Listen closely. The whispers are already around you. Angels on assignment move with you. They are not distant figures in ancient stories. They are present, active, and aligned with the seal upon your life. You may not always see them, but their presence has surrounded you in every season. When you stumbled, yet did not fall. When danger came close, but could not touch you, it was because angels were fulfilling their charge. Think of a traveler walking a narrow mountain path. On either side are steep cliffs, and one wrong step could mean disaster. Yet unseen guards hold the traveler steady, guiding each step, preventing a fatal slip. That image captures what angels have done for you. They have stood at your side when no one else could. There was a chosen one who often felt abandoned. Life's storms convinced them they were alone. One night, in desperation, they cried out, "God, have you left me?" And in the silence that followed, they felt an overwhelming peace. Though their natural eyes saw nothing, their spirit sensed the presence of unseen guardians. Later, they realized that not only had God not abandoned them, but his angels had been stationed around them the whole time. This same truth wraps around you now. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, "For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." Live note, that is not poetry alone, it is reality. The King of Heaven has issued a command concerning you, and angels have responded. They do not move by accident. They move because your life is bound to a heavenly assignment. Think of battles you never saw, accidents that almost happened but did not, opportunities that opened just as you were about to give up. Angels have been weaving through your days, working in obedience to the command of God. They fight in realms unseen, so you may carry out your assignment in the seen. The seal on you makes their role even clearer. A sealed one does not walk unguarded. Just as a royal messenger travels with escorts, you travel with a heavenly company. When you carry heaven's blueprint, heaven ensures its protection. But angels are not only defenders, they are carriers of provision. At times, answers arrived in your life faster than you imagined. At times, strength returned to your weary body when you should have collapsed. At times, a word of encouragement came from someone at just the right moment. These are often angelic movements, responses from heaven to keep you aligned. Imagine standing in a vast battlefield. You see only a portion, but beyond your sight, legions are clashing. Swords of light striking against darkness. You hear whispers in your spirit, "Keep walking." That assurance is not empty. It is the voice of angels fighting to keep the path clear. Chosen one, you are not weak, and you are certainly not alone. The resistance you feel is real, but the reinforcement assigned to you is greater. Angels have been stationed not only around you, but also ahead of you. They go before to prepare the ground, to dismantle traps, to create openings you cannot yet see. So, do not mistake silence for absence. Do not mistake invisibility for inactivity. The unseen is alive with movement. The angels sealed to your journey are not watching idly. They are warring, protecting, guiding, and ensuring that what heaven has written for you comes to pass. Walk forward in this knowledge. Your steps are guarded, your path is watched, and your mission is escorted by a heavenly host. Your obedience unlocks gates, the doors you longed for, the opportunities you prayed about, the alignments you never thought possible. They are all tied to one key: obedience. Not perfection, not brilliance. Obedience. Every time you chose to trust when it made no sense. Every time you said yes to God while others turned away. Something shifted in the unseen realm. Disobedience closes doors, but obedience opens gates no man can shut. It is not about forcing your way in. It is about aligning with the one who already holds the keys. When you obey, you step into resonance with heaven, and gates swing wide at the appointed moment. Think of a shepherd who leads their flock to pasture. The sheep may not know where the green fields lie. They simply follow the voice of the shepherd. Each step may feel uncertain, but every step of obedience leads closer to abundance. This is your reality. You may not see the full picture, but your obedience has been leading you to gates prepared long ago. There was a chosen one who faced a decision that could change their entire life. The easier path glittered before them, while the harder path whispered sacrifice. They wrestled through tears, finally choosing obedience, even when it cost them. In time, they discovered that gate after gate opened, resources aligned, doors of influence appeared. People they never imagined stood beside them. It was not luck, it was obedience, opening what striving never could. The ancient words recorded in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8, say, "Keep God's word on your lips. Meditate on it day and night. Do what is written in it. Then you will prosper and succeed." This is the essence of obedience. It is not mindless rule-following. It is the rhythm of success, the melody of prosperity. Prosperity, not just of wealth, but of spirit, of purpose, of impact. When you obey, you release angels to move. You trigger divine strategies to align. You cause gates that seemed impossible to open at the sound of your footsteps. And when the gates open, they do not open for you alone. They open for those connected to your calling. Picture a massive iron gate rusted shut for generations. Many have pushed. Many have tried. But nothing moved. Then, at the moment of your obedience, you place your hand upon it, and it swings wide with ease. That is the difference obedience makes. The gates you are approaching are not ordinary. They are generational gates. Gates of influence. Gates of nations. Gates of souls waiting to hear truth. Your yes carries the weight to open them. Your surrender is the hinge on which destiny swings. So do not despise the small instructions. Do not dismiss the whispers. Each act of obedience is a key, and with each key, gates open wider. Chosen one, this is your moment to acknowledge it in faith. Write these words in the comments. Keys in hand. Let it be more than words. Let it be a prophetic declaration. You are proclaiming that heaven has placed the keys of obedience into your grasp. And with them, no gate will remain shut. It is your yes, your surrender, your choice that turns those keys and swings open the doors of destiny. The hour of separation has come. The seal upon you has drawn a clear line between what can move forward with you and what must be left behind. You may feel the weight of it in your spirit, friendships that no longer fit. Places that once felt comfortable now feel heavy. Desires that once burned bright now fade into silence. This is not rejection, it is refinement. Heaven is removing what cannot walk with you into the next chapter. Think of a gardener pruning a tree. To an untrained eye, the cutting looks harsh, even destructive. But the gardener knows branches must be trimmed so the tree can bear greater fruit. This is what heaven is doing with you. The separation is not punishment. It is preparation for abundance. There was a chosen one who clung tightly to every connection, afraid to let go. They felt that to release was to lose. But in time, they discovered that the pruning was protection. Those who left were not carrying their destiny, and those who remained were strengthened by the same fire. What once seemed like loss became the doorway to clarity. You, too, are standing in such a moment, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 39. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. The hour of separation feels like loss, but in truth, it is discovery. What you lose is only what cannot bear the weight of destiny. What you find is the life you were meant to carry all along. Imagine a ship about to cross a great ocean. The captain commands that excess cargo be thrown overboard. Heavy crates, though once valuable, would only sink the vessel. Every release makes the ship lighter, swifter, able to endure the storms ahead. Chosen one, you are that vessel. The Spirit is commanding release not to wound you, but to make sure you reach your destination. Even relationships that once brought joy may fade. Even dreams you thought were permanent may shift. It does not mean you have failed, it means you are advancing. You cannot carry everything forward. Some weights were meant only for a season. The seal on you demands focus, and focus requires letting go. Do not grieve endlessly over what is removed. Instead, see it as heaven's kindness. Every hand released from yours makes room for the right ones to take hold. Every door that closes clears the path for the one that was always written for you. And now, chosen one, here is your invitation. If this word resonates within you, respond not out of duty, but as a beautiful act of alignment. Like this message as one who says, I embrace the pruning. Share it as a lantern passed into another's hands, so they too may find courage in their separation. Subscribe as one boarding the vessel of destiny, declaring, I will not turn back, I will move forward. This is not obligation. It is choice. Just as a gardener chooses which branch to prune, just as a sailor chooses which cargo to release, so you choose to step into destiny with hands open. Your response becomes part of the separation, a holy act of agreeing with heaven. The hour of separation is not the end. It is the beginning of clarity, strength, and focus. What remains will bear fruit. What is ahead will shine brighter than what is behind. And as you walk forward sealed by heaven, the angels move with you, ensuring that nothing cut away will diminish what is to come. The fire of refinement has been your unseen companion. It is not the gentle warmth of a hearth, but the blazing furnace that purges impurities. Though you may have prayed for ease, heaven allowed the fire to burn, not to destroy you, but to reveal what is eternal within you. Refinement is never comfortable. Gold does not rejoice as flames lick around it. Silver does not sing as the dross is scraped away. Yet only through fire does purity emerge. You have been in that process. Even if you did not recognize it, each trial, each stripping, each season of silence has been fire shaping you into something that cannot be corrupted. Think of clay in the potter's kiln before the fire. It is soft, fragile, easily marred, but after enduring the heat, it becomes solid, ready to hold water without breaking. You, chosen one, are like that clay. The kiln you feared was not a place of ruin. It was the place that gave you form and strength. There was a chosen one who once believed that hardship was punishment. They could not understand why every door seemed to slam, why prayers seemed unanswered, why the world grew colder around them. But later they saw clearly, those very fires forged resilience, sharpened faith, and stripped away every false support. What once felt cruel became the testimony of survival. Their story whispers to yours. You, too, will look back and see that the furnace was never meant to kill you. It was meant to crown you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Zechariah. Chapter 13, verse 9. This third I will put into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people. And they will say, the Lord is our God. Endo. This is the language of refinement. Fire produces intimacy. Flames birth identity. When you were pressed, you learned to pray differently. When you were broken, you discovered strength you never imagined. When you were left with nothing, you saw that God Himself was enough. The fire did not strip you, it introduced you to yourself. Imagine a sword being forged. The blacksmith thrusts it into the fire, then hammers it on the anvil again and again. Sparks fly, metal bends, and blows resound. Painful? Yes. But without it, the weapon remains brittle, weak, unready for battle. You are that sword, Every strike was forming edge. Every heat strengthening steel. The seal upon you demanded you become unbreakable, and the fire ensured it. Chosen one, do not despise the seasons that scorched you. Do not curse the heat that seemed unbearable, for now you carry something pure, something incorruptible, something eternal. What others lost in bitterness, you gained in brilliance. You are not who you were when the fire began. You are sharper, stronger, steadier. Look around and see the fruit of refinement. Where fear once ruled, faith now stands. Where weakness once reigned, resilience shines. Where dependence on others controlled you, dependence on God now anchors you. The fire has completed its work, not perfection, but purity of purpose. And though flames may rise again, you no longer fear them, because you know now the fire cannot consume what heaven has sealed. It can only purify, can only prepare, can only prove the glory within. Walk forward, radiant from the furnace. You are not marked by ash, you are marked by brilliance. The fire of refinement has not diminished you, it has revealed you. Prophetic numbers confirm what heaven has already spoken over your life. They are not random digits, not coincidences flashing across your path. They are divine fingerprints, markers that whisper, you are sealed. You are seen. You are aligned with heaven's order. Chosen one. Think back to the patterns that caught your attention. A number repeating itself on the clock. A sequence etched into a dream. A figure appearing again and again in moments when you most needed assurance. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. They are the language of God echoing through creation. Numbers have always carried prophetic weight. 7 marked completion. 12 marked authority. 40 marked testing. Heaven speaks through symbols, and numbers become one of its purest codes. When they appear, they remind you that heaven has not forgotten, that your journey is not random, and that your assignment is sealed. There was a chosen one who once wrestled with doubt. Ach, Stepp fällt uncertain. But one night, waking from a heavy dream, their eyes landed on a number repeating on the clock. At first, they dismissed it. Yet as the days passed, the same numbers surfaced in unexpected places. Eventually, they realized heaven was speaking, confirming that the seal was unshakable and the assignment real. This same confirmation is unfolding in your life. We find in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 31, if God is for us, who can be against us? This is the assurance behind every prophetic number. Each sequence reminds you, if heaven has spoken, no opposition can silence it. If the seal has been placed, no darkness can remove it. Imagine a traveler on a long road. The path winds. The night is dark, and questions press in. Suddenly, a lantern glows ahead with a number carved into the post. It is a signpost, proof that they are still on the right road. That is what prophetic numbers are, glowing markers in your journey, affirming, you are not lost. You are exactly where heaven intends you to be. Chosen one. Do not overlook these signs. They are given not to confuse you, but to strengthen you. Each one is a reminder that you are carried, guided, and sealed. The prophetic sequence you see now is not just coincidence, it is confirmation. So, take this moment as a prophetic act. Type the number 1212 inch, the comments below. This is the number of divine promotion, of spiritual authority, doubled. 12 is the number of government and foundation. And when it is mirrored, it speaks of your calling being elevated into heavenly thrones and earthly influence. By declaring 1212, you are testifying, I am stepping into my next level. I am crowned with authority, and I will walk in the leadership heaven has written for me. Let this not be mere digits typed on a screen. Let it be your agreement with heaven's seal. When you declare 1212, you are saying, I am aligned with the new chapter of authority. I will not shrink back. I will stand in the place prepared for me. The prophetic numbers will keep appearing, guiding your steps, reminding your heart, and sealing your journey. And with each one, the angels on assignment nod in recognition. The chosen one has seen. The chosen one has heard. The chosen one is awake. The mantle of boldness has descended upon you. It is not arrogance, nor the fragile mask of confidence the world wears. It is a divine clothing, woven in the fire of refinement, carried on the shoulders of those who have endured. Boldness is the fruit of heaven's seal, and it terrifies the kingdom of darkness. Fear has stalked you for years, whispering lies in your ear, telling you that you were not enough, that you should stay silent, that stepping forward would only bring shame. But the mantle you carry now silences those lies. Boldness is not the absence of fear, it is the authority to move forward in spite of it. Think of a lion walking through the savannah. It does not roar to convince itself of its strength. It roars because it knows who it is. The mantle of boldness rests on you in the same way. You do not need to manufacture courage. The seal already guarantees it. There was a chosen one who lived timidly, afraid to speak the truth, afraid to confront darkness. Yet one day, the mantle descended. They opened their mouth, and the words shook atmospheres. People who had been bound found freedom. Fearful hearts were strengthened. The timid one became a voice of fire. That story is not distant. It is a mirror of what is awakening in you now. The apostle reminds us in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And this is the foundation of your mantle. Fear was never your inheritance. Power, love, and soundness, that is your true garment. The mantle of boldness does not make you reckless, it makes you steady. It does not make you proud, it makes you secure. Imagine stepping into a battlefield. Around you, warriors tremble. Yet when you lift your head, a cloak of fire rests upon your shoulders. Enemies, hesitate. Allies find courage, and your very presence shifts the tide. That is the power of boldness. It is not merely for you, it is for everyone connected to your assignment. The mantle will lead you to places you once feared. You will find yourself standing before people you thought you could never speak to, declaring truths you once thought too heavy for your tongue. Boldness transforms whispers into declarations, hesitation into action, weakness into strength. Chosen one. Understand this. Boldness is not about volume, it is about authority. A whisper spoken with the weight of heaven carries more force than a shout without it. When you wear the mantle, even your silence carries authority, because the atmosphere knows you are marked. Think of Moses before Pharaoh, by himself, He was just a shepherd who once ran in fear, but clothed with God's authority. He became a voice that confronted empires. That is the pattern of boldness. It takes the timid and makes them thunder. Do not be surprised when people begin to notice the change. They will say, "Something is different about you." They may not understand, but they will feel it. The mantle of boldness makes itself known because it is not about appearance, it is about presence. Walk forward with your shoulders squared and your head lifted. You do not wear rags of fear anymore. You wear fire. You are sealed. You are bold. And the mantle upon you will break chains, scatter darkness, and release courage wherever you step. The clash of kingdoms surrounds you. It is not merely the struggle of human voices or the conflicts of daily life. It is the collision of realms. Light and darkness cannot share the same space. And because the seal is upon you, the battle intensifies wherever you stand. At times you have felt the heaviness of this clash. Sudden resistance rises the moment you move forward. Distractions multiply when you press into prayer. Relationships strain when you step closer to your calling. These are not random. They are echoes of the greater war. The seal has marked you as one who carries light, and darkness trembles at your advance. Think of a storm breaking across the sea. The winds howl. Waves crash. Lightning splits the sky. For a moment it feels as if chaos will consume everything. Yet the storm itself is proof that two systems of air are colliding in the same way. The turbulence in your life is not always failure. It is the sound of kingdoms colliding. There was a chosen one who often wondered why their life felt harder than others. Why battles never seemed to end. Why peace felt short-lived. But in time they understood. The battle was not because they were weak, it was because they carried a seal that threatened darkness. The storms were not punishment, they were confirmation. The same is true for you. As Paul wrote in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Oh, the clash you feel is not with people. It is not with circumstances alone. It is with forces that recognize the authority upon you. And though they rage, the seal guarantees you are not unprotected. Picture a soldier carrying a torch into a battlefield at night. The flame attracts arrows because the enemy sees the light. Yet it is that very flame that guides allies, that reveals the path, that scatters the shadows. You are that torchbearer. The arrows are not proof of failure, they are proof of visibility. The clash of kingdoms will not always be subtle. There will be days when you feel pressed, when doubts scream, when attacks seem relentless. But even then, the light within you does not flicker. Heaven's warriors surround you. The seal ensures that no weapon formed against you can prosper, though weapons will surely be formed. Chosen one, do not mistake the battle for abandonment. You are not alone in the clash. The roar of conflict is also the sound of heaven advancing. The very opposition you face reveals that you are pushing back darkness in ways you cannot yet see. Think again of a seed breaking the soil. The resistance it feels is not cruelty, it is growth. The soil pushes against it. Yet the push proves the seed is alive. The same is true of your struggle. Resistance proves advancement. Walk forward with this understanding. The clash of kingdoms is not a sign you are failing. It is the greatest evidence that you are fulfilling your assignment. Your light is colliding with darkness, and heaven itself fights on your behalf. The seal on you guarantees that though the kingdoms collide, the kingdom of God will stand. And because you are marked, you will stand with it. Commissioning at the altar is where destiny becomes decree. You have walked through valleys, endured fire, carried scars, and resisted shadows. Now the seal upon you draws you into the holy place where heaven places the final assignment in your hands. This is not a casual moment, it is sacred. It is the altar of commissioning, where chosen ones rise, not by human applause, but by divine declaration. Imagine a soldier kneeling before a great king, their years of training, their scars from battle, their hidden faithfulness, all are laid before the throne. Then the king places a sword into their hands and declares, "Rise." In that instant, they are no longer merely a servant, they are a commissioned warrior. This is what is happening in your spirit. Heaven is placing the scroll of your assignment into your hands. There was a chosen one who once doubted they were worthy. They had failed, stumbled, questioned everything. But when they knelt at the altar, something changed. Omantlefel, their name was spoken in heaven's courts. And suddenly they stood not as the same broken soul, but as a commissioned voice. The same transformation is taking place for you. You are not here by accident, you are summoned. According to the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 21, may God equip you to do His will, working in us what pleases Him through Jesus Christ. This equipping is not theory, it is tangible. Strength where you were weak, clarity where you were confused, authority where you felt voiceless. The altar equips you because heaven never commissions without empowering. Think of an artist handing their brush to an apprentice. In that moment, the apprentice does not merely carry a tool, they carry the vision of the master. So too, when God places your assignment in your hands, He also places His vision, His authority, and His Spirit within you. The seal becomes not just protection, but empowerment. Now, pause and imagine this scene. Angels gather around the altar, their faces fierce with light. The king speaks your name. In his hands is the scroll, glowing with fire. He extends it, and as you take hold, a surge of power fills you. The altar shakes. Heaven watches. Earth waits. You are commissioned, chosen one. This is where your yes meets His authority. This is where your endurance finds its purpose. This is where your trials turn into testimony, and your scars into strength. And now, in this sacred moment, here is the invitation, not as obligation, but as a beautiful act of alignment. Like this message, as though you were kneeling at the altar, saying, "I receive." Share it as one carrying a torch from the holy fire, passing it into another's hands so they too may awaken. Comment with your own words, your prayer, your surrender, your declaration, as if writing it upon the altar itself. Subscribe as one stepping into the circle of chosen ones, a community bound not by accident but by divine calling. This is not about algorithms, it is about covenant. Every act of response becomes incense rising from the altar. A fragrance heaven recognizes. The commissioning is complete. The scroll is in your hands. The crown rests upon your head, and the world will never again mistake you for ordinary, for you carry the seal of one commissioned by the King of Heaven. The march of the chosen has begun. You are not walking alone. You are part of a remnant sealed by the hand of heaven. advancing together as an unstoppable force of light. This march does not sound like the clamor of earthly armies. It is quieter, yet heavier. It is the sound of footsteps that echo across eternity, of chosen ones moving in unison toward their final assignments. There is power in this company. You may have thought your journey was solitary, but you are linked to countless others who bear the same seal. Each of them, like you, has walked through valleys, endured refinement, and received their mantle. And now, the march gathers them together, not in competition, but in unity, each carrying their portion of light. Think of a river formed by many streams. Alone, each stream may appear small, insignificant even, but when they merge, they form a current strong enough to carve valleys, move mountains, and reshape landscapes. The chosen march is like that river. Each sealed one brings their flow, and together they become a force no darkness can withstand. There was a chosen one who once believed they were isolated, that no one else could understand the battles they faced. But then, in a season of revelation, they began to encounter others with the same fire in their eyes, the same scars of endurance, the same whisper of destiny on their lips. It was then they realized they were never alone. Their struggle had been part of a larger movement. That realization transformed them from a weary traveler into a confident marcher, their steps now echoing with a greater purpose. We find in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 12, just as a body, though one has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. This truth is what fuels the march. You are a vital part of the body. The seal makes you distinct, but the march makes you united. The hand does not despise the foot, nor the eye, the ear. Each part, each chosen one, carries unique weight. And when they move together, the body of Christ becomes an unstoppable army. Imagine a line of torchbearers stretching across a vast plain. At first, the darkness seems overwhelming, but then one torch is lit, and then another, and then another. Soon, the plain glows with fire, and the shadows retreat in panic. This is the march of the chosen, a collective blaze rising in the night, each flame joining the next, until the world is illuminated. Chosen one, your steps matter in this march. Even when you cannot see the others, they are moving with you. Your obedience strengthens their resolve. Their courage fuels your endurance. This is why the enemy has tried so hard to isolate you, because when the chosen march together, nothing can stand in their way. The march is not for display. It is not a parade of pride. It is a holy advance, a steady reclaiming of ground. With every step, prisons tremble, chains loosen, hearts awaken. With every step, angels march alongside, carrying banners of light. Lift your head and hear it, the rhythm of countless footsteps, each one carrying the same seal, each one walking the same path of destiny. You are part of something vast, eternal, unstoppable. The march of the chosen has begun, and your place within it is secure. Walk boldly, for the ground shakes under your steps, and heaven moves with you, crowned and released. This is the final image heaven places before you, the journey that began with whispers, trials, fire, and endurance now culminates in a moment of release. The seal that has marked you was not given to keep you hidden forever. It was given to preserve you until the moment of unveiling, when heaven could release you into the fullness of your assignment. That moment is here. Picture a runner who has trained for years, day after day. They have risen before dawn, running through storms, running in silence, running when no one watched. The training was lonely, but it was never wasted. At last, the stadium lights blaze. The crowd gathers, and the runner is called to the line. All the hidden miles now make sense. The race they were born for has finally begun. Chosen one. You are that runner. Heaven's eyes are fixed on you, and your release has come. There was once a chosen one who thought the preparation would never end. They carried the weight of waiting, the pain of delay, and the silence of unanswered prayers. But then, like the sudden dawn after a long night, release came. Opportunities appeared. Strength surged, and doors opened that no hand could shut. They realized the waiting had only made them stronger. The silence had only made them sharper. The trials had only crowned them with glory. Their story mirrors yours. You, too, are stepping into the season of release. As Paul declared in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, "Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing." This crown is not fragile gold. It is not a prize that fades or rusts. It is a mark of identity, a symbol of endurance, a testimony that you are chosen. The crown upon your head speaks louder than every accusation, every lie, every shadow. It says, "This one belongs to heaven. This one has been sealed. This one is released." Imagine a bird that has been caged for years. It flutters its wings, longing for the sky, but bars hold it in. Then one day, the cage door swings open. The bird rises, not in hesitation, but in joy. It soars into the sky, carrying songs it never could sing behind the bars. Chosen one. You are that bird. The cage is gone. The sky is open, and heaven calls you higher. Your release does not mean ease. It means purpose. It means responsibility. It means walking boldly into assignments that will stretch you, challenge you, and transform the lives of those around you. The crown is not given for comfort. It is given for impact. And yet, there is joy here. A joy that silences sorrow. A joy that sings louder than pain. A joy that fills every empty space left by years of waiting. The joy of release is heaven's song over you now. Chosen one. Step forward. Wear the crown with humility. Carry the seal with strength. And walk into your release with courage. You are not who you once were. You are crowned. You are sealed. You are unstoppable. This is the final activation of your assignment. You are released. The word has been sown like seed into the soil of your spirit. Now the question is, will you let it grow? Or will you leave it dormant? Every response you make waters the seed. Every act of agreement calls forth the harvest. Like this message, as if you were placing gentle rain upon a newly planted garden, each like is not routine. It is nourishment. It is you saying, "I welcome this seed to take root in me, and Share this word as though you were letting a river flow beyond its banks, carrying life to fields far away. Sharing is not about numbers, it is about sending streams into dry ground, awakening hope where the soil has been barren for too long. Comment your words below as if composing notes in a symphony. Your sentence might be short, but together with others, it forms a song that rises like incense to heaven. Whether you write, "I receive," or "I choose my crown," or your own phrase, it becomes music played before the throne. Subscribe here, not as an empty click, but as if stepping through the gates of a palace prepared for chosen ones. It is an act of belonging, of saying, "I will not watch from the distance, I will dwell in the courts of light." Allah, chosen one. This is more than interaction. It is alignment. It is the way you water the garden, extend the river, complete the song, and step into the palace. Heaven does not demand it, but heaven delights when your heart responds. So mark this moment beautifully. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, not as obligation, but as sacred acts that turn today's word into tomorrow's fruit.